welcome everyone. I am Joe Zapata and part of Zapata Brand Podcast, and we got a new segment we're going to be doing. It's going to be movie reviews, trailer reviews. We're going to do some maybe out of the theater reactions. We're going to do some top 10 movie lists, comic book stuff, Star Wars stuff, all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to be doing it with one of my longtime friends, former weightlifting partner, DC Dave Callari. What's up, Dave?
What up, Joe?
How you been, man?
Good, you?
Good, man. Let's start right off. We got Friday debuting as Captain America.
Yep.
4. That's coming out. Brave New World's coming out. One of my friends who's an actor already saw it. He said it was pretty good. I wasn't too crazy about the trailers that came out. I don't know about you. I'm still a Chris Evans fan as my Captain America, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, I did enjoy. I didn't like it a lot. What do you expect and what do you think about Captain America, Brave New World?
The thing I didn't enjoy about the trailers is I feel like Marvel knows they're trying to pick up the slack. So we got some Hulk spoilers. I saw a clip floating around online. Slight spoilers if anyone hasn't seen any of this stuff. They're introducing adamantium, I think, from the
correct
the big hand in the Arctic from Eternals,
yes.
Which is a cool idea.
Yep.
But I think I would have liked to have seen that in the theater and not have it spoiled in the trailers. But it is what it is. Yep. I hope we get a nice narrative carryover from the end of Falcon Winter Soldier. Isaiah Bradley's in it.
Yep.
I think that'll definitely be a nice carryover, a nice connecting of the story. I hope the action is good. And I don't know how I feel about the new Falcon, the young kid.
Danny Ramirez.
Yeah. I like him as a slight comic relief character in the TV show. I don't know how he'll do as like a full-time hero.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of my friends, like I said, he saw it, and there's no spoilers, but he did tell me that it feels more like an Incredible Hulk sequel a little bit.
I can get with that because I feel like the whole character's been hard done by just that one movie that was fine. And Norton was fine. I think Mark Ruffalo does a pretty solid job as Banner and the Hulk, but we haven't gotten him in enough. His best performances was in Thor Ragnarok.
Yep, that's true. That was the best one. Let me ask you: you think this movie is going to make $1 billion?
Not even close.
Really? What are you looking at? What do you think it's going to make?
I think the industry hit lightning in a bottle because the last Marvel movie that made over $1 billion was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Correct.
1.3, right?
Yep.
And that had everything going for it. It had obviously fan favorites, Ryan Reynolds, relatively new considering Hugh Jackman's been in the role forever. Nostalgia bait, how many people went to go see it on repeat viewings? That all ties in. I think Cap is probably looking at an 80 to 90 million weekend, 90 million weekend.
That's what I heard. Yep.
Maybe it finishes between like 550 and 650, maybe 7, which is not bad. Like, let's not get it twisted, right? But ever since all the Avengers movies were hitting well over $1 billion and Endgame hit like 3, if it doesn't hit 8, 9, 100 million and $1 billion, then it's like, it's a flop.
Correct. But no, it's going to be, that's exactly what I was thinking, between that range. Exactly what I was thinking, I'm going to see it Saturday. You're going to see it Friday, right?
Yep.
Friday, you see it?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll see how it is. One of the movies now that's coming out on May 2nd, Thunderbolts. I was not looking forward to it. When they announced it, I was like, man, why are they doing this movie? Whatever.
Yeah. If it comes out, it comes out.
Right. But as the trailer started coming and I saw the cast, I was like, you know what? This is starting to really, and the last trailer at the Super Bowl, I really liked.
This looks like a sleeper.
Yes.
I watched it. I'm like, this looks great.
Yes.
You see, I really like the quick little scene they had of John Walker reading his like Fall from Grace story.
That was really cool.
He definitely needs a story tie up from Falcon, and obviously he will because he's U.S. agent now. They can't just let that character go.
Correct.
But it looks like his performance is going to be great. David Harbour as Red Guardian. It seems like a lot of fun. And then we got Ghost from
Ghost,
Wasp.
Man and Wasp,
I've
correct.
seen a lot of characters we haven't seen in a while.
Correct.
And it looks like I really care about this team doing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
What
Taskmaster.
Suicide Squad probably should have been.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Exactly right. What do you think the asterisk at the end of the title means?
I don't know. And I think, in the quick scene where Harbor says we're the Thunderbolts, and then Bucky's like, we can't call ourselves that.
Yes.
Because I guess they don't like General Ross or President Ross now.
Yeah,
there's probably going to be a tie-in from Cap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing it has something to do with that, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think it might be a different title, maybe, possibly. I hear theories that because Kevin Feige said he's going to release what it is, but it's probably going to be something stupid. But I think they might not be the Thunderbolts. It might be a different, let's say, whatever, Dark Avengers, whatever the name is. Something crazy might happen at the end. But I think they're going to have a different title, group name or something. That's why I think they have that there. But who knows? We'll see. That looks really good, though.
Like a Task Force X.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever, something like that. And I think Taskmaster is going to die in this movie because
everybody's been saying that because there's like 3 seconds of footage of her, but Ghost isn't in it a lot either. So
no, Ghost isn't even that much either.
But I will say, based on the performance in Black Widow, Taskmaster and what Taskmaster really is in comics, this movie iteration is not that interesting.
You're right.
So
yeah, we'll see. I bet you this movie will do better financially than Captain America: Brave New World for some reason.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I bet you there's a little bit more than Captain America.
I think it's gonna have a bit of a slow build. We might get 1 or 2 more trailers. Opening weekend will probably be pretty solid.
Yep.
I think some of it is going to depend upon how well Cap does. Right? Like I think everyone talks about superhero fatigue, which I don't really believe exists. I think it's just the movies haven't been great.
No.
Like look at the Penguin, right? Comic book series was amazing.
Series was great series.
I really enjoyed Peacemaker 2 years ago on HBO. James Gunn did a great job. So if you give us a good movie, superhero or not, a good movie is a good movie. We have bad movie fatigue.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And speaking of James Gunn, one of the series movie trailers that came out was Superman. Well, that was well expected. Superman. I think he's one of your favorites, probably your favorite character, I think, right?
Yeah, where's my
yeah, there is. I think he is one of your favorites. Oh, there it is.
Right here.
So I saw the trailer, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When he had first announced Crypto, I was not a fan of that. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna work. But if anyone can put it together, I'm like, all right. Then I saw the trailer. It's like, it works. I get it. Wasn't crazy about his costume, but the way the trailer started out with Superman, boom, hurt, crashing. You don't see that. Big impact, him bleeding. I loved how that started out. What did you think of that trailer and everything?
I enjoyed it. The suit, like again, if the story's good and Corn Sweat's performance is good, I don't really care what he's wearing.
Yeah.
If you make the character interesting, it doesn't matter. Like, did you watch Superman and Lois?
Great series.
Yeah, right?
I love it.
The most interesting part about Superman is the human aspect of him. Correct. I almost didn't care. I mean, obviously I cared, but the last episode is fantastic. And the most interesting parts of that is when he's not in the suit. Like you write the story good. You give the character enough nuance. He's relatable. He's He's like a regular guy trying to do what he does in the city with Lois or whatever, who also happens to be Superman. Give us that kind of story, and doesn't matter.
Everything's riding on this for James Gunn. Obviously, you probably know. I mean, this is big.
I really liked Suicide Squad for what it was.
Yep.
I really enjoyed Peacemaker. I watched Creature Commandos recently.
I haven't seen that.
It's worth the watch. Yeah. For an animation, it's great.
Very good.
I think he definitely knows the direction he wants to take it in. I don't think that he's going to steer Warner Brothers into DC Studios, whatever, into the where Marvel hit for a little while, like just movie after movie after movie after movie. Like just announce a few big projects over 2 or 3 years, make sure that they're good, and just keep it going. I think Superman's got the largest broad audience appeal because it's a character that's been around. We're closing in on 100 years, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But he also knows the source material. So, we're getting characters like Mr. Terrific. The casual person has no idea who that is.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people who probably don't even know who Crypto is, even though he's with like League of Super Pets and whatever. So that's the only thing I could see derailing the movie, is that it's a little bit too far into the comic books for some people.
Yeah, most people know Hal Jordan as Green Lantern.
Yeah, they'll be like, who's the idiot with the bowl cut?
Exactly. So you're exactly right. What do you think of Guy Gardner? Nate feeling great.
Well, I like the casting choice.
Correct.
I don't know much about Guy Gardner from the comics. It's been so long since I read them when he was there, but I remember not caring for him a whole bunch. I have more experience with Hal Jordan, obviously, and even Jon Stewart. Yeah,
Jon Stewart, those two.
So we'll see. There's a reason he was chosen. There's a reason he picked Guy Gardner. So we'll see what happens. And Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois, she was great in Miss Maisel when I watched that on Amazon.
Okay.
I think she'll do good.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this movie might do the same as about Captain America 4. I think this is going to do really well, about 600,000, 600 million, whatever, something like that. I think that's going to go around that range. It's not going to hit $1 billion, but I think it's going to go around 600 million or something like that. What do you think? Something like that?
Probably. I'd have to see what did the original Bad Justice League make?
Oof, I think that totaled maybe worldwide. I think maybe altogether maybe 500.
Oh,
it didn't do well at all. I know it was made money, but I don't think so. That much, maybe 500,000. I don't know total.
This is right here, 661.3 million.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're counting the re-release. Zack Snyder's one, because
the Zack Snyder cut, which was much better, by the way. I thought
much better. But if we look at it, the budget for the original was, I don't know, was it 250 million for the first one, and then another, I think it was, what was it, 70 or 140 or something like that for the reshoots and editing. So we had almost like a $500 million movie and a 4-hour cut and the original 2-hour cuts. We had almost a 6-hour clip for like an okay presentation of the Justice League.
You thought it was all right. What did you think, by the way, since we're on DC? What did you think of The Flash? I liked it. I thought it was okay. Aside
from the rapey vibes from Ezra Miller.
Well, besides that, I thought it was okay. I just like
it's funny. I literally just watched it again yesterday, because just like my Superman watch I showed you, I ended up picking up a Flash watch. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go back and see if it was as bad as I remember it being. And it's not.
Yeah.
I think when I watched it, rewatching it, I had less hope, like high hopes. Like I went into that movie expecting a ton.
Yeah, me too.
And I thought I was gonna love seeing Michael Keaton as Batman again.
Yeah,
and while it was cool, and I loved when he pulls the the cover off the Batmobile, Keaton's performance was good, but I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it from him.
Yeah.
I don't think he phoned it in. I just don't think the part was written well enough. Ezra Miller, I think, did a good job. Visually, the effects was not great. I think you really need to know a lot of deep cuts for the ending to make sense, or to know the kind of swing they were taking. Like the scene with Nicolas Cage as Superman fighting a spider.
Yes.
If you aren't a Kevin Smith fan and had never seen Kevin Smith tell that story about him trying to write Superman Lives way back in '97, that thing doesn't make any sense to you. You're just like, what? Why is he here?
Exactly.
So like I said, they took a big swing. You have to know a lot of the lore and how we got here. But it was serviceable. I just think it was. Looking back, cool. I like that better than Aquaman 2.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah.
Aquaman,
the first Aquaman surprised me. I was like, this is way better than it's supposed to be.
Yes, and that was one that made over $1 billion. The first Aquaman, but the girl who played Supergirl was pretty good. I thought. What did you think about her?
Sasha? I liked her. I liked the different take on the suit. I liked the different take on just the character in general. I liked the different take on her look. Like she didn't look like the same Supergirl we always get. So like I said, I think there was some just like Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill was a great Superman. He was just not great movies.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was expecting a Man of Steel 2 sometime, but they never did it.
I guess it was Justice League.
Yeah.
Or Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really great pieces of the DCEU, and it didn't pan out as well. I thought, I'll say it right now, Ben Affleck, his iteration of Batman, my favorite.
Ben Affleck did a great job as Batman.
The suit was fantastic. His fighting style, the scene in Batman Superman in the warehouse. Every Batman scene should be that good.
Very
good. I even liked his seasoned Bruce Wayne, his older Bruce Wayne. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, it was good. I did enjoy Ben Affleck as Batman Bruce Wayne. That was really good. July 11th, Superman drops. That's coming out. I'm looking forward to that. The next one, though, that's supposed to be really big is on July 25th, Fantastic Four. Now, I have a bad feeling. I like the Thing, how he looked in this one, the new trailer.
Yeah.
I like how he looked. He looked pretty good. Looked comic accurate.
Yep.
But with all the mistakes that they had, I wasn't crazy that I love Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, great actor. I love it. I don't know if I would have chose him as Reed Richards. I don't know. Wasn't the first choice for me. I like, John Krasinski from Doctor Strange. I thought that was pretty cool. But what did you think of the trailer? And what did you think of Pedro Pascal as being casted?
The trailer was much better than I expected it to be. I think Thing looks great. I like that actor, Evan Moss Bacharach, I think his name is. He was Microchip in The Punisher on Netflix. I like if you watch when he's tasting his whatever he's making, he claps his hands and you hear the stones.
Yeah,
like a lot of really good little nuances there.
Yeah.
I think everyone's cast really well. We don't know what the story is going to be. It's obviously back a little bit.
Yes.
I'm curious how they're going to do it. I'm kind of over like multiverse and stuff like that, but it might be that to bring him back into present day. Pedro Pascal he's a solid choice, but he's in so many things now, and his look doesn't really change. And while he's a good actor, it's almost hard to see him immerse yourself seeing him as the character instead of just Pedro Pascal is in Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Galactus being in it? That was pretty cool when you saw that part with him.
If it ends up looking good,
yeah, they didn't show.
I think we'll be okay because the cloud from the original Silver Surfer Fantastic Four was abysmal. This is what we get.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just curious as what they're going to do, because if it takes place in the past and something of Galactus level happens, but like no one ever hears of it in modern times, I'm just curious how they're gonna do that.
Now the Silver Surfer is not Silver Surfer Norrin Rad that we know. It's going to be the girl
Chalabal or whatever.
Chalabal. I don't think too many people know that, and I think they're going to be a little bit confused about that.
I don't think anybody would even know either of those names anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What about John Malkovich? He's in there. Do you know who he's going to be?
I have no idea.
I think I've heard rumors he's supposed to be Red Ghost, Puppet Master. I am not sure exactly who.
Wow. Okay.
That's who I heard rumors of who it's going to be. What do you think this movie's going to do in the box office?
I don't know. I think people are a little tepid on Fantastic Four because the first one, what was that, like 05 or 6?
Yep, 05 or 6.
Terrible. Like absolutely terrible. The second one, Rise of the Silver Surfer, I actually enjoyed.
Wasn't too bad.
I don't know if I liked it because it was actually a good movie or because my expectations were so low. One or the other. So, it's also going. Let's keep in mind, it's going up against Superman. Literally 2 weeks later. So if Superman does well and stays strong for 3 weeks, Fantastic Four could knock it out. But if it's not as good as Superman, I think makes a slight resurgence and Fantastic Four falters a little bit. I would be surprised if it broke 500.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit because of all the different versions we've had of Fantastic Four. I think that's going to the 2015 one with Michael B. Jordan.
Fantastic.
That was horrible. That was really horrible. So I think that's going to cause a little bit. People are going to wait to see it.
Yeah.
It does look. Their suits, their costumes look pretty good. Very comic book accurate. I do like that also.
The aesthetic is great. The visuals are great.
Mm-hmm.
The robot was Herbie.
Yep,
He looks
Herbie.
great. So like the CGI and stuff looks really good because, as you know, we've been getting some wonky CGI in some of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Flash, when these are all billion-dollar studios. Like, this is the best you guys can do.
Yep.
Or just slow down how fast you're churning this stuff out. Give your guys time to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Out of those 4 movies we talked about, which one you think is going to do the most?
I think it's going to be Superman.
Okay.
Thunderbolts, Captain America, Fantastic Four.
That's exactly the order I was going to pick.
And if we're still going in the summertime, we need to revisit once the box office tallies are there, see how close they were.
Yeah, exactly. I do
think.
But
also remember, Mission Impossible, the next Mission Impossible, when does that come out?
That's sometime in the summer.
Yeah. So if it's around either Superman or Fantastic Four, that's also going to be one to contend with.
That's true.
I got to look at what else is coming out around these times, because there's a fairly amount of big movies coming out over the next couple months.
Yeah. What did you think of Robert? We talked about it. Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Dr. Doom.
I hated it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
I think he'll do fine because he's a good actor. I mean, if anybody saw Tropic Thunder, you should know he can do anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Again, it's going to have to be some weird multiverse thing where he's some alternate version of Tony Stark who turns into Doctor Doom. When we really should just get Victor Von Doom from Latveria and just call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unless they come up with something very interesting, but I don't know. The thing is, we're rushing towards what? Avengers Doomsday is going to be, what, 2026?
2026. And then
we got not that far off.
Nope.
And, if you look back at how we got to the first Avengers, what do we have? We had Iron Man 1 and 2, Captain America, Thor.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all you really needed to get to the first Avengers. And then everyone's solo movies. Then we had Age of Ultron. Then we had some more sequels and solo movies. Then we had Infinity War and Endgame. But we had 20 some odd movies leading up to that.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Like everything intertwined, but in a really perfect, beautiful way. There's so many things hanging out there right now. There's the way Doctor Strange 2 ended, where he's got his third eye and he's with Charlize Theron's character. I forget her name. Mm-hmm. And everything from the Marvels, everything from the Eternals. Mm-hmm. I think Mahershala Ali took a hike because Blade's not happening. Blade's not a real movie anymore. No. But somehow we're getting to Avengers Doomsday. I just don't know how they're going to do it. Obviously, I'll be there with the ticket, but I'm really going to be curious to see how they decide to pull it off. And I think having Downey there is going to guarantee at least like 25% of your box office that people will be there to see him.
Yeah, because they're going to be curious and they're going to want to see what he's going to do. So people are going to go there and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that on the Disney Plus, obviously, I'm looking for Daredevil. Born Again. That's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be really cool. What do you think about that series?
I loved the first 3 seasons, and I was heartbroken when they canceled it. I was like, they're not gonna cancel because it was the last. If you remember, that was the last of the Marvel shows to get canceled.
Yes.
I was the lone person in my theater during Spider-Man No Way Home when he showed up on screen. I was like, yes, really loud, and everyone was, what's the big deal? I think it looks great. The opening scene of the trailer where he's talking to Kingpin in the diner is fantastic.
Yep.
It looks like the action is just as good, if not better. John Bernthal's back as the Punisher. Like, as long as the showrunners and the writing is good, like, that's going to be a good show. If it really does stay true to what they started, I don't want them to like redo it. Just do what we did. No, just keep that same tone, keep that same writing, and just again give us a good show that we're interested in. Yeah. I think the thing that was interesting with Daredevil is that you cared about what Matt did as Matt Murdock, and you cared about what he did as Daredevil. instead of just trying to get through the courtroom scenes or whatever to get to him at night.
Yep.
Like the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. I didn't care about any of his lawyer stuff because they were just trying to push him to be Daredevil at night. It just wasn't very interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. But I'm really interested in this. I think it starts in May. I think in May it starts on Disney Plus. Pretty sure it's May.
March.
March. Yeah, March.
Because I know I'm personally waiting for Reacher season 2 in like a week. And then hopefully by the time that's done, Daredevil hits.
Daredevil starts. Yeah. That's pretty good. And then they said he's going to be already in the Avengers. They mentioned that already.
Okay.
That he's going to be.
He should.
Yeah, he definitely
should. I know he's like a street level character, but let's face it, so is Sam Wilson. Like he's just a guy in a suit with a shield. He's got no powers, he didn't do the serum. He's technically a street level hero.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think so. Another question I was going to ask you now, Matt Reeves is getting ready for Batman 2. Finally, that's what they were saying. Now I don't know who the villain is. There was rumors it was going to be Clayface. That's what they're saying. Did you hear anything of who was going to be?
I heard the same, Clayface.
Clayface, right?
Which would be interesting because we haven't seen Clayface.
Never seen
Clayface. Actually made a pretty good appearance in Creature Commandos. Really short-lived though. So I don't know. No, so Matt Reeves, his universe is separate from everything.
Yeah, correct.
So Clayface can't exist because I don't think Clayface makes it out of the cartoon series. I don't think he makes it out of Creature Commandos, actually.
Okay.
I'm interested because he's a formidable foe. We've never seen anything like that. We don't need another Joker. We don't need another Joker trying to be Heath Ledger.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Jack Nicholson did his thing. Great. Stood the test of time for 20 years. Heath Ledger comes along. I remember what I thought when I heard Heath Ledger was cast. I was like, the fucking Knight's Tale guy? You got to be kidding me. And then he crushes it. Like
wins an Oscar.
For quite some time, that will go down as like the definitive Joker performance.
Correct.
Jared Leto took a big dump all over the role. And, the kid they had, even though it was like a scene on the cutting room floor, the kid who was in the last one.
Yep.
It seems interesting. But I don't need to see it. There's nothing intriguing about that villain at the moment. Let's not even talk about the Joaquin Phoenix movies.
Yeah, those two were. The first one was good. The second,
I enjoyed the first one. I didn't even bother. Every review was so terrible. I was like, I'll see when it's free on streaming, and I have not even scrolled by it.
Yeah, don't waste your time. It is one of the worst movies you'll ever see. It's all over the place. One of the worst movies, I think. Well, I think that's what we got going on for this week. As far as all the trailers, we went everything. Anything else you want to touch base on?
Did you see the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer?
Yes, I did see that. I thought it was okay, pretty good. I mean, they're going, Natasha. I mean, what is Sarah?
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. I'm thinking of Black Widow, but she actually looked pretty good. I thought she was good in it, and the trailer looked pretty decent.
It looks. Listen, all those movies always look good. I think there are slight diminishing returns because the story is almost the same story every time. Again, give us a good story. This one looked. I'm like, I don't really understand what's happening here. Like I was kind of bored by it.
Yeah,
but I'll probably see it because it's a Jurassic movie.
You're probably right. They keep going to the same island with dinosaurs.
If that one, I know it's not a comic book movie, but that one will probably do. That might outpace everything we talked about.
You're right, because those movies do really well with kids for some
reason.
That's
why they keep making them.
They do really well. They always make over $1 billion.
Yep.
Every single time. I mean, I like the ones with Chris Pratt. Those were pretty good.
Fine. Totally
they were fine. I mean, he's not in this one, right? He's not in this one. It's totally different, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's totally different. I think it would be pretty good. I think we'll see what happens. I mean, the trailer looked okay, but trailers can go back and forth.
They're designed to hook you.
Correct.
They're designed to hook you.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Superman flying one?
Where that weird look where he's flying.
They gave him the Black Adam perspective.
I don't know. I thought it was okay.
I didn't care. I think, all right, fine, great, whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but people are making a big thing out of it. Saying his eyes were crossed too and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I actually think as Clark Kent with we see him all the time in the gym, the broccoli heads.
Yep.
You know, I thought that was pretty interesting because I'm like, oh wow, I really couldn't tell that's him for a second. That was really Superman.
It's one of the few times you actually buy the whole change in hair and glasses bit.
Yeah, because when you take off the glasses like Kevin Smith does all the time, remember, this is me. But that actually, I'm like, oh, the broccoli hair works. It actually
does.
It's pretty good. I thought it was not bad. But other than that, I think we'll see what happens with all these trailers coming out and all these movies. On Friday, you're going there.
Yep.
I'll be there Saturday.
Yep.
Next week we'll touch base and see what you thought of the movie.
Yep.
All right, Dave.
I'm curious to see what the post-credit scene will be. There's got to be something.
There is a post-credit scene. My friend told me.
Did he tell you what it was?
Yes, he did, but nothing spectacular. You're going to be like, this means I don't even know what this is.
Right, because I don't think they do either. That's the problem.
Yes, it's nothing spectacular.
Did you watch season 2 of Loki?
Some of it.
Okay. So if you get through it, they like the way that ends. Technically, should change everything, but again, that's another thing just hanging out in limbo. Where you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and there's rumor that they want to bring back Kang, Jonathan Majors. Did you hear that?
Well, yeah, he beat the felony rap, so why not?
So they were exactly. So they want to bring him back to kind of tie up loose ends. But at this point, why do it?
I don't know. I didn't care enough about his character. He was not intimidating enough. There was no part of him.
He got beat by Ant-Man.
Even though our first introduction to Thanos was really just a couple of post-credit scenes, and he had a slightly longer scene in I forget which movie, but he was it. Yep. He was it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Like anything Kang does, I don't care if he's actually more powerful than Thanos. It just nothing about him makes me fear him the way I was like, oh, Thanos means business.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, Kang got beat by Ant-Man, so
that.
And at Thanos, they built him up really good from every movie showing him, and you could tell. And Infinity War, he just wrecked it, and you could tell he's the only big villain we really had, and we'll see what Dr. Doom brings, but he's the only big villain we really had.
Yeah. Like I said, if they had finished, if Marvel Studios had closed the doors after Endgame, I would have been fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if we'll ever get back to that pinnacle of like, we're all here, we're all fighting for the same thing. Like Secret Wars is after Doomsday.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see how we get to that.
Yep. Well, they're going to be doing the X-Men soon, and I do hear that, Hugh Jackman is going to be coming back again.
I'm fine with it because he's not the worst part of the movies. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
And so get good writers, good directors, we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
And again, if the Russos can, come back and do their thing, great.
Yeah, they're really good at that. I think that's the only reason why they brought him back, because the whole, and I think my favorite movie out of all of them, Civil War and Winter Soldier were my two favorites. I think my top 1 and 2, I think. I don't know, which ones were yours did you enjoy the most?
From them?
Well, from any, from the Russos.
I think it would probably be those two. I do want to say Endgame, but Civil War and Winter Soldier can stand on their own. Like you could be a somewhat of a casual fan or not know much of anything about Marvel, and you can watch those two and have a pretty decent time.
Yep.
You really can't watch Infinity War or Endgame on their own without having some big backstory.
Yeah.
And be like, I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see what's going on. So, Dave, thank you so much for this week.
Man.
We'll hit up next week. Let me know what you think about, Captain America, and we'll talk about next week, brother.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
All right, man. I'll talk to you next week, my man.
Later, dude.
You got it. I'll talk to you later.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.